Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with a banger of an episode. Numero 4.
Such a showman.
I want you to change that.
This guy loves it,
I love it. Again, hosted by yours truly, Freeman, and my boy,
JP.
Again, soft and elegant. Okay, my bro, how's your week been?
It's been hectic. It's been... I'm going to keep it real. Me and him went to Ibiza the other day. I saw some pictures. Body was looking disgusting. I'm like, bro, we look like slobs.
Horrid. I was very ashamed of myself. Very ashamed.
Yeah, this week's been about getting in the gym, training, working, strict diets, cut out the crisps, the chocolates, the sweets, the fizzy drinks.
Yeah.
And you drawing me out with like chicken and chips and that.
Yeah, little Gallegos.
No, we should be promoting Gallegos for free. They're going to have to pay us for that one. But this week is just like hardcore personal development, fitness, gym, getting back on it. You know, like when you go away and you have fun, it's great. And then you kind of got to get back to reality. So this one's just been like, getting back on business, standing on business.
Literally.
Yeah, man.
No, you're right. I think, obviously, like John said, we went away on holiday together. To Ibiza. It was a quick, nice little trip, recharge, and we just went on a boat trip and we had a professional photographer there and he just took snaps. And I was like, bro, I don't know if you man's grandkids, And they'd be like, this is what granddaddy looked like in his 20s. But I was like, no way. I want to be looking nice and lean and da-da-da-da. So, it's just been, just putting ourselves through it. I've been like crazy aggressive. I've been like practically halving my calorific intake. Just
Phil,
because...
you always go extreme with your stuff. This guy's like, I'm only having water today. I'm like, bro, like, relax, man.
Yeah, I'm a bit aggressive with it. It's trying to obviously lose weight, trying to be in the 80s right now. But slowly, as we say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And funnily enough, it's on brand with the topic of today's episode, actually, isn't it? Consistency. All about consistency. So for the people at home that might not even know what consistency is, what is your definition of
my
consistency?
definition, or how I see consistency, is just, again, for me, everything starts with like the goal, the aim. Like that, the aim gives you purpose. If you got no aim or purpose, then what are you being consistent for, right? So for me, consistent is figuring out a goal and just working on it day in, day out, no matter how I feel, whether I want to do it or not, whether it doesn't matter. Rain, snow, sleet, I am going to do this. And I'm going to be consistent with it. I'm not going to get distracted. And I'm going to do it no matter what.
Yeah, no,
that's me.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think for me, I also echo that, like, consistency is just doing something until it becomes a habit. Simply, in its simplest form. But I always, as you know, on the podcast, we always want to give practical advice and steps about, how we do anything or the topic in nature. And obviously, we're clocking nearly the end of the year, man. That's mad. Q4. That's mad. 2025 is around the corner. So I think maybe again to the people, it's like, what are some examples in your life, in your day-to-day, of things that maybe you weren't so consistent in and that you are now? Because obviously we kind of spoke about gym, so maybe that's kind of the obvious.
Yeah.
So let's maybe like niche down a bit. Like, what is something that you wasn't particularly consistent in that you're now kind of like, it's every day?
I would say my kind of personal development and growth. I feel like since, I kind of got back into business properly, like almost 3 years ago now, you are kind of what you know. And in business, it's like you have to keep learning. So again, I realized the importance of kind of personal development and self-development, and something that I try and be consistent with is like reading. Like I read a quote a while back and it was like, there are things on the higher shelf and you get the things on the higher shelf by stepping on the books that you read. So for me, it's like, and I think I spoke about in another episode, the difference between what you have and where you are now to where you want to be is what you don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the only way you're going to kind of get there is by obtaining that knowledge, right? So I'm just trying to be consistent with it every day, kind of, read, whether it's for half an hour. And now if I'm driving, put on that audio book and be consistent. And I'm finding it really helps because it just keeps you in that mind frame and that positive mindset of depending on what you're listening to or
course,
reading, obviously.
of
But
course.
I generally only read like kind of personal development and self books. Again, I only people think I'm some type of robot or something.
Just spitting out quotes, bro.
Not even that, but I generally only do stuff that's gonna help me with what I'm trying to achieve. Because like you know, unless you're spending time with loved ones and that, what like. I have no reason to do anything else. I'm not where I want to be. So 90% of the time has got to be spent on doing things that are going to help me kind of achieve what I'm trying to achieve, right?
No, of course,
in answer to your question, trying to be consistent or being consistent with personal development and self-growth, and for me, that is consistently reading something that will help elevate my mind and take me to the next level.
How difficult has that journey been? Like, was it easy? Did you find it natural?
It was... No, I think, you know, when you're trying to, like you said, and it's a great definition that you gave, consistency is about adopting, for me, positive habits. And it's like any habit that you adopt, it's not easy to adopt it. It takes a while. Like for me, like one of the new habits is getting up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
The first like couple of weeks I struggled. Like, who wants to get up at 5 a.m.?
Yeah.
Excuse me, the alarm goes off and you're half dead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But over time, your body gets used to it. So was it a difficult journey? Yeah, it was, because like all of us, there's distractions, and I feel like you can only be consistent if you're disciplined. And I think for me, one of the things that I've struggled with my whole life is discipline. So you can't be consistent if you're not disciplined. You can't say you're going to get up at 5 a.m. every day if you're not disciplined. You can't say you're going to read that book for an hour or half and if you don't have discipline. So something I've struggled with, but again, it was like baby steps, right? Trying to make this massive step is not realistic. So if I said to myself, you know what, I need to read every day, start with 20 minutes. Don't be trying to read an hour a day if you've never done that before, or you haven't been consistent with that. You know, when you're adopting new habits or trying to be consistent, like start small. So yeah, it was hard, but I learned, you know, baby steps count too.
No, I like that. No, I like that.
Yourself?
I think for me, what I've been, obviously aside from gym, obviously, niching down, kind of piggybacking off the back of yourself, reading. I've never been the biggest reader. I find it so boring. Like, it's, I just find it so boring. Like, it's just dull, you know? And again, kind of going back, and I didn't even kind of realize why until I realized what you just said earlier in terms of like purpose. Like, why? Like, I feel like back then I was just reading for the sake of reading because it was just hot, it was just sexy. Like, everyone was just reading. You know what I mean? Back when I used to work at my 9 to 5, I was like, everyone's on the train is just reading. I was like, okay, flipping, maybe I need to get into this. And I just really struggled. I tried book clubs. I tried it all. I tried like, they had like little socials at work. I just couldn't get into it. And at the end of the month, when they came to like reading the book, I'll just quickly do like 15-minute blurb and just find out what the book is about.
Can I ask, when you say like, what was you reading? And there's a reason why I'm asking you that.
I think I was just reading like, well, at the time, like war novels, sci-fi, just like anything like the book club kind of suggested, like just like random stuff, like love stuff, murder mysteries. Yeah. Like, I'd like to watch it on the TV or in the cinema, but I just don't find any joy in reading it. It's just very dull, and I was very put off by this chunky like 500, 400 pages as well. So yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, reading for me just didn't come naturally. I probably only started reading in the last 2 years, honestly speaking. Like, I struggled. I really, really, really struggled to get into it. And I think it's because I only then started reading things that I actually genuinely wanted to learn more about.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, that's where I was basically going with it, that you probably struggled because you wasn't really reading things on topic or your interests. Yeah. Like, you're going to struggle to read stuff that you just have no interest in. Or again, like, being the go-getter you are, things that are going to help you. Yes. Like, there's no, like, we're very busy. Yeah. So you don't really have much time to consume pointless information. So you really need to consume information that's going to help you. Exactly. Or help your business.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And then I think that was the incentive for me. So I think I started in with like, you know, like podcast, then like ebooks, and I actually then started reading. I was like, flipping, like it's good. And then some of these books are like quite gripping. You know, like you don't even want to put it down. And then, yeah, just for me to kind of like consistently stay on it as well, just trying to like set times in my days for like what's the optimal time for me to read. But obviously we can kind of get into maybe later a bit of like some practical steps that we took to be consistent in some of our activities. But yeah, for me, like it was reading. So like, yeah, one, like my latest thing is reading, and also kind of like stopping as well. I'm trying to be consistent at stopping.
I know that's something that you
know what I mean?
We always have a conversation about like stopping is just as important as going.
You know what I mean? And I just feel like there's no more road. You know what I mean? And I'm still driving. I'm still driving.
You run out of road.
You know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean? I'm out of road now, and I just can't stop. And I know I need to stop because I'm now no longer efficient. Do you see what I'm saying? Like almost like a plane running out of fuel. I'm only going downhill. I'm still traveling further forward, but not as fast as I am on a full tank. And I now need to understand that, cool, I need to stop, refuel, and set up again. And optimally, I will travel further as opposed to crashing, burning down, and then now nose diving and needing like 2 days recovery to get the cleanup crew, you know what I mean? So,
cool.
yeah.
All right, well, I think, we can definitely go into kind of what your steps were to help you be consistent, right?
Yeah.
In the areas that you thought you needed to.
Yeah.
I want to talk about like what can like a big problem if you're not consistent. Because a lot of people struggle. Like I put up a tweet on X the other day and I'm like, everyone can start, but not everyone can finish. Like it's so easy to start. It's so easy to be like, I'm going to sign up to the gym today and go to the gym. But are you in the gym 6 months from now? Do you know what I mean? Are you able to like stay with it every day? Like, I'm going to get up every day at 5 a.m. and like, how long can you do that? Like, it's very, very difficult. So, I really want to talk about kind of like what life looks like if you're not consistent.
I think, I think for me personally, kind of goes into what you said, like discipline. Because if I'm not consistent in anything, that means I lack discipline. And that's even a bigger problem.
That's another topic. That's another podcast.
You know what I mean?
Topic.
That's like a bigger problem. Like, just imagine like not being disciplined in anything. Like how lawless and like jobless your life would be. Like obviously, like to the degree like all discipline and stuff, like there's like routines, but like I'm talking about actual discipline that's in like you're forcing your body or your intentions to do something that you wouldn't normally do, or you shouldn't do, or do something that is like traditionally difficult or standardly difficult, or don't want to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think then in short, the negative effects is like I always relate to, but like you're not being the highest version of yourself. You know what I mean? If you're going to choose to consistently go to the gym or to consistently walk 10,000 steps every day, you're not being the most healthy version of yourself. You're not being the most fittest version of yourself where you can outlive people who don't do that and spend more time with your loved ones and, you know, enjoy some of the fine things that this world has to offer. You're doing yourself a disservice. So I think for me, that's probably like one of the disadvantages of not being consistent, not being the highest version of yourself.
Cool.
What about you?
Yeah, I think the problem with not being consistent is if you're not consistent, you just keep starting over and over again. Like, and I think once you start something, like I said, anyone can start, right? So once you start, you build momentum, and then for whatever reason, you know, you lose momentum, it happens, and then you stop, right? But I feel like when you're not consistent, you keep starting over and over again, and I think that can be like demoralizing within itself. It's like, for example, if I start going to the gym and I'm consistent, you know, I laughed. There's a guy, he signed up to the gym. He was like, I'm going gym now, like sticking out his chest. And in my head, I was like, let me see if you're going to be like the same person in 6 months. Lo and behold, you know who you are. I saw you. I'm like, you've been getting, no, man, ain't really getting to the gym anymore, you know. Everyone can start, but everyone can finish. But where I'm going with this is that when he now decides to go, actually, he's starting from zero.
Yes.
Do you get me? And I think what people don't understand is that starting from, you just keep, it's like you take 5 steps forward and you take 10 steps back. So it's kind of like, you're better off just keep going. Because if you don't, you're going to have to keep starting back over and over. You lose momentum, and you probably give it up. And so my thing is, the biggest problem is if you're not consistent, you don't move forward. You feel like but then you end up going backwards. So you move and then you're back and you're back. Before you know it, you look around, you're in the same place. Body looks the same. Like nothing can't change. Bank account looks the same.
Yeah.
Like everything looks the same. But we're not trying to be the same. Like you really are trying to be better than you was yesterday. So I think, the big problem is just you don't know it, but you're starting over and over again, and there's nothing worse than like starting, building momentum, going, and then having to start again. It's a horrible feeling. I think that's one of the biggest things for me why I try and stay consistent, because it's harder to start again.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like that whole like analogy that the hardest part is getting the plane off the ground, and once it's in the air, it coasts.
Yeah, of course.
So you might as well just stick with it.
Yeah, literally.
So that for me is like a big problem, man. It's like you're never gonna see progress if you're not consistent, and it can be very disheartening.
Yeah, and time spent as well.
Time spent, like you're investing time, you're investing money, you're investing, and those, like we always say, are your biggest currencies are your time and your money.
100%.
So you're wasting all of that. You're wasting all of that. So.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
So like in terms of like steps now, like practical steps, obviously, as you know, always in the pod, we like to give you guys a good 1, 2, 3 to remedy the situation. So like, what's one practical step that you would take into staying or becoming consistent in something?
Okay, so again, and I probably sound like a broken tape recorder, but I feel like just like what you want in life drives everything. And what I'm saying is that, like I said, when we went to Ibiza and we saw those pictures, and I looked at myself and I'm like, I feel disgusted. That drove me to be consistent with my gymming and my diet. I became kind of disgusted with what I had seen, my situation, and it was like eating these crisps every day, having that can of Coke every day. This is not helping me achieve the body that I want. So that helped me. I became disgusted with my current situation. So every time I kind of felt like I wanted that kind of Coke or that chocolate, I'm like, I can't have it because my body's going to stay the same. Or when that alarm goes up at 5 a.m. and I know I've got to get up in the morning and hit that, that battle box class.
Yeah.
That battle box class to kind of, help burn fat and stuff like that. I need to get up. How badly do I want what I say I want? And that drives the consistency for me. Am I really serious about kind of what I'm saying I want to achieve? Because if I am, I will do whatever it takes. Are you prepared to do whatever it takes to get the results that you say you want?
100%.
Because if you're not, then you're not serious about what you say you want, right? And you're just talking for the sake of it. So for me, it starts with how badly do I want? Because ultimately, when you're consistent, you're working on something, right? Or you're working towards something. So if it's really important, then surely you're going to do whatever it takes.
No, 100%. 100%, so
for me, that would be step one.
Yeah, no, I kind of like will... Yeah, I will echo that as well. I think for me, it's also future thinking, like in this. Again, it also sound like a broken record, like shame yourself. like a big thing is like shame myself is like, I think especially when we went away, I was just thinking like, imagine my grandchildren wanting to look alike. Imagine if we're like going back like 1930s, black and white, man's in my Speedos and that on the beach, and like, granddaddy, is that you? You're that big belly, like, you know what I mean? It's just like I wouldn't want that for my legacy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So obviously that's on the topic of gym, but like anything, like let's talk about like saying like it's smoking or eating or whatever. It's like you want to live beyond 60, 50. You know what I mean? You don't want to lose your life to diabetes or your leg or whatever because you got to amputate your leg or whatever it may be. So just
learning a new skill.
Do you see what I'm saying? You're just disadvantaging yourself. You're disabling your life. Or the full potential of your life, you know what I mean? On purpose, you know what I mean? So I think, it's just not, again, allowing yourself to become the highest version of yourself. So again, my kind of like first step is sort of like forward thinking is like, is this what I'd want for myself or my family? And is this the legacy that I want to leave? That identity, that identification aspect.
So how do you stay consistent?
I think planning.
Okay.
Planning. I think planning and talking to people. That's like a big thing for me because my biggest thing is like, I like being held accountable. You know what I mean? And I think the biggest way of being held accountable is by obviously speaking to people about what you want to be held accountable for. So immediately, like, I always like to make a big fuss about everything. So Like, guys.
Always. He always does.
You know, obviously, I'm a little attention seeker. So, like, guys, I'm going on diet. I'm going to half my calorific intake. And obviously, like again, like, it's like, what the? Like, what are you doing with it? But, like, and again, just to show you and prove you wrong, I'm going to do it. Because I don't want to be like that guy. You're like, oh, bro, like, what happened to this little thing you're doing and whatnot? And even if that does happen, you're just going to give me that kick up the arse to, like, just knuckle down. You know what I mean? So I like to plan out. I'm like, cool, boom. That for me, again, like, with the nature of our work, we're always up and down. Like, I can be in any north, south, west of the country at any given time of the week, you know, because of the nature of the work I do. And because of that, food is my weakness. Like, I live, like, kind of like countryside bits, so the only chicken shop we have is KFC. So when I go to London, I lose my mind. You know what I mean?
20 chicken shops on the same street.
Literally. So food is like a big thing for me, and quite easy, like when I'm at a property or I'm at a view and I'm at a site and I see like a little takeaway or whatever, I was like, let me just get something. So now what I started doing is like, I started doing like preps, like meal preps. So like I've been ordering from meal prep companies that, you know, will have like organic, healthy, reasonably sized portion, balanced carbs and protein with minimal fats. And I buy that in bulk, slap that in the freezer, 3-5 minutes in the microwave, you know, and it's just efficient for me. You know, and it's easy. There's no excuses. I've bought it now, so I'm now condemned to the point that where I've put money on this now, and now I've also spoken to people about this. I'm also condemned by that, and I've also been held accountable by them by that. So like again, I plan myself like, okay, cool. I'm gonna have 2 meals a day, 10 times throughout the week, and that's my plan. And I'm going to be held accountable because I've spoken to people about this, and I've got a plan in terms of how I want to achieve it. So that's kind of like how I sort of stay consistent, or my step two.
That could possibly be a step two. Yeah, I was going to say that could be a step. I do like that. Yeah, I do like that. I think for me, similar to you actually, like what kind of helps with consistency is having a routine. It's like a lot of people shy away from routines, but routines and schedules keep you so efficient and keep you consistent. It's like when we were younger, you know, you go to school, secondary school, you get a timetable.
Yeah.
Imagine you didn't have a timetable. Like you knew you had to be at maths at 10, PE at 12. You're able to stay consistent in all of those subjects, right? Whereas imagine your day was just all over the place. Scattered. How can you stay consistent if you don't have like some type of schedule, routine? So for me, I'm really starting to like use planners, so I know at that time I should be doing that. And now it's about how disciplined can I be. So how strong is this goal that I said I want to do? I've laid out, this is when I should be doing it. Why am I not doing it? I'm not being true to myself. I don't really want it, you know? So my step 2 would be, you know, to stay consistent, having some type of routine, some type of schedule in the things that you want to do that you know at 6:30, I read for half an hour. Yeah. You know, you're time blocking to do the things that you want to stay consistent with. So now you're leaning in on your discipline. Yeah, of course. Which is obviously, you know, a subject within itself. So step 2 for me would be time block the things that you want to do at a set time and just be disciplined enough. Be realistic as well. There's no point in saying that you're going to get up at 4:30 to, you know, listen to a podcast if you just know that's not realistic. Yeah. So just kind of being realistic with yourself, giving yourself enough time, and just take, you know, every day, take one step at a time, and just kind of watch the results kind of compound over time, man.
Yeah, no, I think that's really good, and I think a lot of people can definitely take advice from that. I think my step 3, less of a finisher of like the consistency, because like it's a journey.
100%.
It's a journey. So and the journey ends when it becomes a habit, right? And we're no longer having to force ourselves to do something. I think that's when the kind of my perspective, the journey ends. So like my kind of 3rd step would just be having a natural understanding, and almost a bit like your step 2 of a realistic understanding. Like it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, and you're gonna have to push through. Like you said, sometimes like, I don't want to wake up to go to gym. I don't want to. I
know.
I don't want.
I know you don't.
You know what I mean?
I know you don't.
I don't.
Freeman, where are you?
Today Monday, bro. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to go, you know, to go to the gym. I don't want to eat these green vegetables on man's plates. Like I like oily fried chicken,
sugary,
refined sugar. You know, I like that caster sugar. You know what I mean? So I don't want to, but I know that if I consistently do those things is going to be bad for me. So again, almost like your step one as well, how bad do you want it? So the battle is being consistent every day, and then giving yourself the pat on the shoulder or the back, for when you get them small wins. I've done a week, I've eaten clean.
And you feel so good.
So good.
So good.
So good. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and then also like reward yourself. So I remember when I first tried to like go clean in terms of like eating healthy, I was like, I'm not going to eat a single takeout for the whole year.
Extreme.
2 weeks it lasted. 2 weeks lasted. And that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
How can I say like, I'm not going to eat out
You've
for a
been
whole
eating
year?
for a whole year, and all of a sudden now you're just not going to eat for a
You know
whole
what I mean?
year. Yeah.
It's unrealistic. So then I was like, okay, cool. Like once a week, I'll eat out. And then once a week became a fortnight. And the fortnight term, obviously, we ain't got to a month yet. But like, you know what I mean?
Baby steps.
But baby steps, you know what I mean? So I think that was it for me. It's just like setting myself realistic goals that I know are achievable, and also having the understanding that it's not going to be easy, and pushing yourself. And that's why in terms of my step 2, in terms of talking to people about it, massively helps, because you now have an accountability partner. Like I have obviously with John at the gym. You know what I mean? Someone to push you. And if you can create like a little community, a little group amongst yourself that have like similar goals and interests, you know what I mean? Like maybe like this person wants to lose a bit of weight. This person wants to put on a bit of weight and bulk on. Like you have this still a shared common interest that we're going to the gym at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and you're doing your thing and I'm doing your thing. And we have this kind of like Bluetooth synergy and we're just working together. You know what I mean?
Good energy.
Good energy. You know what I mean? So that's kind of like my step 3 is just like, in short, like understanding that it's not going to be easy, setting clear, realistic expectations of the consistent journey that you now need to go on.
Love that. That's good. I think for me, when I look at consistency and why most people are not consistent is because they give up, right? So they start something, and because they don't get the results that they want when they want, they give up. So my first step would be, obviously, set what you want, but then forget about it. It's like we had this conversation in the gym this morning. I'm like, I'm now trying to trim, but I shouldn't really be watching myself every minute of the day looking for results, right? Because as long as I'm working and trying to improve every day, naturally it will come.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If we're talking about being in the gym, if you're going to the gym 3-4 times a week and being consistent, naturally, and doing the right things, obviously eating clean, drinking water,
of course.
naturally, you will over time see the results. And I think a lot of people, because they don't see the results, they give up. And then the consistency stops. You know, again, everyone starts, but not everyone can finish. But I feel like people don't finish or continue because they're like, I'm not seeing any results, or like the consistency is not paying off. Forget about the results and just head down, and naturally over time you'll see. So that would be my third step. Forget about kind of wanting to see the results. It's like, you know, we're both building our brands on social media. Like, stop looking at the scoreboard. The scoreboard is going to stay the same, right? Just get your head down and just keep working. Get up keep showing up.
Yeah, keep showing up.
Keep showing up. Keep showing up. And naturally, whatever it is you're trying to achieve will happen.
It will blossom.
So that would be my third step.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the scoreboard. Head down, keep showing up, and the results will come.
Yeah, no, I really like that. And even just to kind of like add to that as well, the retracement of not being consistent is painful. Like it can like kind of like what you said in your explanation, like you're just gonna have this kind of like back and forth, because like you could be going to the gym consistently for like 6 months, and it only takes probably like 2-3 weeks, and the amount of work against yourself that you've just done and it just completely ruins all your progress. So the retracement is a lot more harder, and it comes a lot more easier as well. So again, just like you said, just knuckling down and powering through.
And that goes back to what I was saying to you before, because in being consistent, you're not going to wake up every day and feel like, yeah, I want to do this. Like, don't ever get it twisted. You're never going to wake up every day and feel like, this is what I want to do on your journey of achieving whatever. There's going to be days where you feel like crap and you're like, I don't even want to do this. And that's why, you know, we laugh about it. For me, I'm training my mind and body to do things that I don't want to do, because you don't win in life by doing things when you want to do it. That's just not even realistic,
Yeah, of
you
course.
know. But if you can train your mind and your body, you know, I know probably some people say it's extreme, like having a cold shower. Like, do you think I like getting in, like when I'm in the gym, bro, like, do you think I like having a cold shower? But I'm training my mind to just do something I don't want to do, like plunging. You know how cold that plunge pool is. When I get in, you think I'm like, yeah, plunge pool. Like, I'm like, oh my God. But I'm training my mind don't just do things when you want to do it. And you hear people do it a lot. Oh, I'm not in the mood. I can't be bothered. I'll do it. And no, you need to do it. Because, and I always say this to you as well, like, everything affects everything. If you can't be able to do that, you probably won't, you know, drink that bottle of water. You probably won't do your 10,000 steps, or you probably won't. It affects everything. So if you're not, like I always say, you can't be consistent in some areas of it. You're either consistent or you're not.
Yeah, it's a blanket.
You know what I mean? So don't think you can be consistent in that and you're either a consistent person or you're not. So just also know that everything affects everything. Try and be consistent. Try and be a consistent person. Don't just try and be consistent in one thing, because it will affect other areas of your life.
Yeah, naturally.
You know?
Yeah, and I think that was quite good. I do think we gave a lot of practical advice on trying to be consistent and understanding, again, like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right? So, yeah, I think that was really good. I don't know if we kind of want to add anything to that.
No, not really. I think, consistency is key, and it compounds.
Yes.
It compounds. We've got our thing, James Clear, Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
Just try and be better. Don't look for those massive, significant
gains.
It's not realistic,
No, it's not.
and if you keep looking for them, you're going to become disheartened because they never show up. You'll never find them. So just try and get better 1% every day. It might sound a little, but getting better 1% every day over 365 days of the year, that's gains.
Serious gains.
That's serious gains. Like anything you're trying to do, it never happens overnight. It always looks like it happens overnight.
Yeah.
But anything you're trying to achieve, it takes time. And consistency is kind of, happens over time, you know. So
100%.
Yeah, that's kind of it, man.
No, it's good. I like that. That was very consistent. But obviously this is the segment of the pod now where we relay some thoughts, tweets, quotes, scriptures of, things that kind of, are sort of on brand with what we spoke about. Just thing that we kind of want to share with you guys. So I've got mine.
Yeah, what inspired you?
What inspired me? Again, I always try to kind of keep it on brand. And I stole this from a YouTuber called Mario. He's an artist. And he said, if nothing changes, nothing changes. 4 words. Very simple.
Very.
And again, I can line with our topic of consistency. Like, if you're not going to do anything about what you need to change, or you're not going to be disciplined enough to be consistent and try to do that 1% every day, nothing is going to change. You know what I mean? And if nothing changes, nothing changes. And if you're content with that version of your life, and understanding that you're not going to be performing at your peak or at your most optimal self, then so be it. You know what I mean? Everyone's content with what they want to be content with. But I'm sure most people, if not everyone, wants the most for themselves.
100%.
So there needs to be, and obviously as human beings, change is difficult.
Very.
It's hard. You know what I mean? So like understanding that, if you want change, if you want something different, something needs to change. Something needs to take. Something needs to give. Either way. So yeah, I think that one really stood out for me. It's just nice, short and sweet, it hits home.
Yeah, no, that's good. I said there's a quote that I read a while back, and it's like, I can't remember who says it. Someone might be able to kind of put in the comments.
Yeah.
It's like, be the change you want to see in the world.
Be the change.
Be the change that you want to see in the world. I feel like it was like Bob Marley or something along them lines. But yeah, be the change you want to see. So make those changes. Be the change you want to see in the world, man.
No, I like that.
So to add on that,
what have you got?
What inspired me and motivated me? I think, people probably know this inspiration and motivation. I think one of the things that helps me kind of keep going every day, because there are days where I just don't feel like getting up or don't, and I have a segment in the morning where I'm like, I need to inspire myself. I need to be motivated. But I saw this yesterday morning, and it was like from someone on X. X is one of my favorite platforms. It was a woman called Corey Wilson, who I follow, and she was like, the truth is, you don't get what you wish for. You don't get what you hope for. You don't even get what you deserve. You get what you work your arse off for. You know, I know a lot of people believe in kind of just hoping that things will change, and, if they think about it enough, and, things will happen.
Yeah.
Like, no, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. So, I found that very profound. It was like, you don't even get what you deserve. You don't even get what you hope for. you don't get what you wish for. You get what you work your arse for. I know everything you have in your life right now, you've had to work your arse off. I know everything I've got right now in my life.
100%.
You have to work.
Serious graft.
You know, and I suppose that kind of plays on consistency a little bit, because
it does.
when you're working your arse off, you're consistent. You know, if you want to see the results, you can't just work your arse off one day and, you know, the other 6 days of the week you're just chilling. You know what I mean? You have to grind pretty much every day. You know, so if you want to achieve success,
100%.
Work your arse off.
You gotta be consistent. But that was a good pod episode. I really liked that. And guys, as always, if you want us to talk about other things, deliberate any other topics or subjects, if you're watching on YouTube, comment below. Subscribe.
Like, share.
And we appreciate you. Toodles.
Elevate.